For professional development today, we are working on Canvas, and I'm going to do just a basic overview of Canvas and kind of give everybody a basis of where to start. So that is our goal. And so you're going to go into Canvas and put in your username and password. It's the first letter of your first name and last name. And then Fairbury is the default password unless you've already gone in and changed that. So I'm going to just go ahead and log in, and I'll show you where you change it if it already is Fairbury. You'll go under Account right here and under Settings, and then you will go over here to Edit Settings and change password. And when you put a little check mark in there, it says what is your old password. If you haven't changed it, it's Fairbury. And then the new password will be whatever school password you want to have in there. And then go ahead and update your settings. Okay, then we're going to start right here with courses. And I want you to click on courses and go to all courses. And it's going to list all of your courses here. And then you might have to look through them a little bit, and whenever you see a course that you want, you're going to click in this little star and make it gold, and those are the courses that will show up on your dashboard, so you're not overwhelmed with so many courses. So go ahead and just click in the ones that are your current courses, and after you've done that, then go ahead and click Dashboard, and then it should show all your current courses. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead and just click in one of the courses that you have. Now, after you've clicked in this course, then you're going to notice your menu over here on the side. And I want you to go into Settings because we're going to set up the menu first for all of your students in this course. So we'll click on Settings. And then the only thing you really have to worry about right now is navigation. So this is setting up the navigation for your students. We'll click on Navigation. And then I think for a starter, for each of you who are just starting out in this, I would change the navigation so the students will see their home, they will see announcements, and they will see modules and their grades, and that pretty much is all they need to have. So these are pretty easy to set up. You can get them back anytime you want. So I'm going to take quizzes and I'm going to disable that. So that goes away. Assignments I'm going to disable because we're going to work on everything through our modules. So we want modules to stay. Discussions we'll go ahead and disable. Collaborations we will disable. And outcomes we will disable, but I do need to enable grades. So do you see how that works? You can just turn them, kind of toggle them on and off. Make sure at this point you go way to the bottom and save it. And then the students are going to see only the announcements, modules, and grades. Okay? Then we're going to go and click on modules. That's going to be where we start. Now, I'll show you each of these is a module. Now you'll have to think about how you want to organize your class, whether you want to organize it by chapters, by weeks, by content. It's all up to you how you want to set up your modules, but think of modules as categories. Do you set up your class in chapter categories? So it's chapter 1 and then all the materials that go in chapter 1 will be under that module? Or do you set it by week 1, week 2? That's totally up to you. In order to add a module, you just click plus module. And so you give it a name. So let's just call this Chapter 1. And right here, you can add a prerequisite. So if you want to set up your course that they have to finish everything for Chapter 1 before they can go on to Chapter 2, that's what that prerequisite will be. Let me click on that. And you can set up a module. So if when you click on that, it says, okay, they have to finish one of these before they go on to week 1. So you can set prerequisites. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just calling this module 1 and I'm going to add the module. And as soon as I add the module, it's going to show up underneath any other module. Most of you will have it just one module showing up on top. So right away you'll notice this little cloud here, and I'll zoom in on that. That little cloud, it says Publish. The students will not see anything unless you publish that course, so you have to click on Publish. And then they will see what that module has to offer. Now, why do they do that? Because you might want some of these items to not be published, and then students won't see them. So let's say maybe you don't want them to do this week 1 getting started. I can unpublish those, and the students won't see those unless I go in and publish them again. So after you're done with chapter 1, you might unpublish it, and then after you're done with, then you'll move on to chapter 2. And after you're done with chapter 2, you might unpublish it when you're getting ready for chapter 3. So that's totally up to you, or you can just leave them all open for the students. Okay, here I am in my chapter 1 module, and I'm going to click. Anything I add now to this chapter will be through this little plus because I'm in the module. Whenever you want to create a new module again, you go up on top here and click the plus module. So we're going to add to the module. Now this is what you can add to your module. You can add assignment, a quiz, a whole file. Maybe you have a file just you want to share with students, whether it's a Microsoft Word file or an image file. Whatever you want to share, you can share that file really easily. Maybe you want to create a content page for that student, and it's just like creating a web page, and you can go ahead and embed and add content to a web page. Maybe you want to have a discussion, and it might be that you're starting this chapter with a discussion, just like accessing prior knowledge. Do you want to pose a question to the students so they think about it first? And that can be held in a discussion. Do you want an external URL? You're just going to add websites that they can go to. Well, that's what that external URL is. So basically that's what we're going to start with: an assignment, a quiz, a file, an external URL. So I might want to start with a discussion. So let's do that. Discussion. And then here are past discussions that will show up. Most of you won't have anything there. You'll just click on a new topic and type in a name for that topic. And you might want to call it the Civil War. And then I'm going to add that item. So here's my Civil War discussion. Now you'll notice that it isn't published and there really isn't anything to it. How do we know what that discussion is? Well, we have to click on it to go in and edit that. So as soon as I'm here, it says, okay, what do you want to do here? Let's edit. And now I'm kind of in the guts of this. What do I want to say to the students? Now, you can actually have a comment and you can say, tell me what you know about the Civil War. And then if you have an attachment of a file you could put in there, you could say this is a graded assignment, or it's just a discussion. You can allow threaded replies. That means each of the students can reply to each other. They don't have to. You can check here that the users must post before they see others, and I think that's an important one, because if they put in their comments of what they know, they're not just copying off their friends. So go ahead and click users must post before seeing other replies. And then you can allow threaded replies. That means students can see your reply and then they can reply to you. They are not just replying to me and my question. They can reply to each other. Now that's totally up to you how you want to set that up. If it's graded, you can click graded and you can say how many points it's worth. That's up to you. Right here, this is one of the most important things about Canvas. If you want to grade anything in Canvas and you want it to post to PowerSchool, you have to click here, include this assignment's grades when posting to your school's information system. That's what PowerSchool is. And any assignment and anything you want graded, you have to make sure that's selected. And then you can assign it to everyone, or if you have different sections that are in your class, you can assign it to those sections. So set this up the way you want it. Now, notice up here, I can say, tell me what you know about the Civil War. Maybe I am asking a question about a video that I want them to watch. You can insert or embed a YouTube video right here too. You could embed a picture and have them respond to a picture. Maybe you have a political cartoon that you want them to discuss. You can embed those pictures. You can link to internet websites and have them look at that information and then reply to your discussion. So this is what a discussion is all about. You can embed items here. You can just pose a question, whatever you want. It's a great way to start class. And when you're done with that, you're just going to click Save if you don't want to publish it yet. But if you do want to publish it, just click Save and Publish. And now that discussion is ready for the students right here. Now, how does that look to the students, you might ask? And I'm going to show you that in just a second. But first, I want to click on Home, and I want you to set up your home page. Now, on this particular class, there's kind of a little start to the home page. They're going to, this is called the syllabus page, and this is how this course starts because this is what the instructor wanted. But you can choose your home page, and if I click that, you can choose that this is going to start with course modules. Now I want to show you what that looks like when I click Save, and I'll give it just a second here. Now if I click on the Home button, I no longer have that little Back to the Future welcome. I go right into my modules. And I think for the most part, that's what you guys will want, unless you want to take them into a syllabus first. But I say start with modules, and then if you decide you want a little welcome page, you can do that later on. So this is how it's going to look. And I go to the bottom, and here is my Chapter 1. Here's the Civil War. Now I'll show you what it looks like from the student's perspective. So I'm going to go into Settings right here. Now it's not my whole Canvas settings, it's just my one course settings. And I click on that. And I'm going to go into Student View, and this way you can see what the student's view looks like. So I'll click on that, and now you'll see when the students click on Home, this is what they are going to see. And these are other modules that they can close or open, totally up to the students what they want to have open. But what I added right now was this Chapter 1 Civil War. And so let's click on that and see what it looks like to them. Okay, it says, tell me what you know about the Civil War. So then the students can reply. And so they're going to click here and they can start typing what they know about the Civil War. And then they will post that reply. And then it says, replies are only visible to those who have posted at least one reply. So they have to post before they can see anybody else's post. But then eventually they will see what each of them wrote. Now notice over here on the side it says you are currently logged into Student View. I can leave Student View right here. So I'm going to leave it. Now I'm back in as a teacher. So remember that Settings, Student View, if you want to see what it looks like to the students. Then leave Student View right down here. So pretty easy going there. And here I am in my modules. Now, students will be able to click on Grades in order to see their grades. And then you'll be able to check assignments based on that, and we'll kind of show you how that looks in a little bit here. So if I click on Grades, you'll notice here, this is kind of a mock class. I just have a couple people here. But here it is, the discussion submission. It says there was a discussion submission. And what you could do then is use the speed grader in order to grade the assignment. And it says the submission for this assignment are posts in the assignment's discussion. Below is the discussion post for Mrs. Dux. You can view the full discussion. And if I click on that, here it is, and if I actually wrote something, you would be able to see it all. And you would be able to comment on it. And then right here, you could give them a grade and you can add a comment. If you want to add a video comment or just a voice comment, you use this. And see, it can be a video comment where it's actually going to videotape me. And so here I am. I could click anywhere to start recording if I wanted it to videotape me. But if I want just my voice, I can click right here. And then I could press record and I could just go like this and just say, hey, you did a good job on this discussion board. I really would like you to discuss with 2 other students and formulate more of a fact opinion based on your comment or whatever. When I'm done, I just go like this and just say, hey, you did a good job. And then I can save that recording. So if you want to take that away, I can actually do that and delete it. All right? So if I want to go back to my gradebook, I click right here, or the course home. So notice this way to navigate. Can go back to my grades. Now, as a teacher, whenever there is something to grade, you can click this little down arrow and use the speed grader. That, I think, is the most effective, because then you can just really quickly grade each assignment if it's not graded for you. Now, if you did a quiz, their grades would automatically show up. But you could go into the speed grader and edit some of those also if you wanted to change their grade a little bit. That's up to you. All right? So then, if I want to, I'm going to go back to U.S. History here, and I can go back into my modules. Now let's say I want to add something else, and I'm in my Chapter 1 module. Maybe I want to add a quick quiz. So I click plus, change that to quiz, new quiz, and I give the quiz a name. Now this is if you're going to actually create your own quiz, and I'm going to call it Trial 1. And it says it's a group participation quiz, or I can just call it an assignment in that group, assignments, add item. Okay, so here I am. Now there's nothing to this quiz right now because I haven't added any questions, but I click on Trial 1 and it takes me, notice it takes me into the quizzes section. But right here I can click Edit and I can make the quiz. Now here's the title of the quiz. I want to go into settings right away. So right here it says it's a graded quiz. Remember this post grades to SIS. That's important because that will actually put it on PowerSchool. You can shuffle the answers for students. You can give them a time limit if you want. You can allow multiple attempts. I know you, most of you are supposed to give them maybe an extra retake. So allowed attempts, you can change that to 2 and actually give them allowed attempts and keep the highest score, or you can the latest score or an average of the 2. That's up to you. Then it says let students see their quiz responses. You can say yeah, let them see it, and then see the correct answers maybe only after their last attempt, or maybe it doesn't matter. You want them to see the correct answers anyhow. Okay, I think this is important. Show one question at a time for students who have any learning difficulties. That's good to do. You can require an access code for them to access the quiz. I don't necessarily recommend it because it's one more thing you have to remember to do. And then assign it to everyone or one of the sections that you have, and then save and publish or save. Now you might want to save that first, not save and publish, just save it because we haven't added any questions yet. So let's go back into Edit, and this time instead of just going to the settings, we're going to go to the questions right here. And this is where you can do a new question or a new question group. Now a new question group would be maybe you want 5 multiple choice questions. Then you might want to say new question group so it knows that you want to keep asking multiple choice. You can just do it question by question. You can say new question and then look right here. It's saying do you want a true, false, multiple choice, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple drop downs. There's lots of choices here. And it might be that you just want text to fill in. So it's all up to you, whatever you want to do. So I might click true, false, and then I ask my question here. Okay, here's my question. And then for it, they're going to say whether it's true or false. And if it's false, you have to click right next to false. That false is the correct answer. If it's true, just select right next to true, and true will be the correct answer. And if it's all the way you want it, then update that question first because you want to save it, and then create a new question. And your next question, you can choose again. Do you want it to be true, false, because that's the last one we did, or do you want it to be maybe matching or numerical? So this is pretty easy to use. If it's matching, then right away it's saying match the left side with the right side, but then it'll mix it all up for you for the students. So you want to put the correct, you might want the word here and the matching definition, okay? And so that's up to you to set up. But after you have your quiz all the way you want, you can save and publish the quiz. And then you can take the quiz to just try it out if you want. And let's go back to modules and see that quiz now. If I go in here to the modules, notice my quiz is here and it is check marked that it's published. There's a Q on it because it's a quiz. There's a little speech bubble if it's a discussion board. Now, let me show you some of these other ones here. Let's talk about Beginnings of America. Okay, right here, this is a link to a document. Here are discussions. Here's a quiz. Here's just a link to maybe a website for you, and the link is because there's a little chain link. Here's a document again. So all of this you can just add right within modules, and that's going to be my suggestion to you. You can do it many different ways. You can actually just link to information on your page, but I think just to get started, that would be a great way to set up your course. All right, so that is basically what we're just getting started for professional development, just getting started on Canvas. Some of you are, some of you have been in Canvas for a while. So the next half hour I'm going to just do a question and answer with those who are working in it. But I think it's going to be a great tool for you to use to share information with students, for students to share information with you. One other item I really do want to quickly go over is adding an assignment, and then we'll kind of quit for today. So I'm going to click the plus in my module again, and this time it's an assignment. And maybe this is going to be an assignment where students are going to hand in some work for you. So we're going to add this item. It's going to be a new assignment. We'll call it Trial 2. And I'll show you the difference in a discussion and a quiz and an assignment. And I'm going to add this item. Here is my assignment. Notice there's a little A by it. So I'm going to click on that. And right away it's going to go into the assignments section. And we can edit this assignment. So right now it says no content, and right here you're going to write in your assignment. So you could say write an essay about the Civil War. Okay, here's the assignment. You say how many points it's worth. It's worth 100 points. It is an assignment, and there are different groupings. That's kind of an advanced feature. By default, yours should say assignment. Display it as points or a letter grade or a percentage. That's up to you. Submission type. This is important right here. If they're writing an essay, I want them to hand it in online. And if you say on paper, that just means the assignment's written up there, but they're going to hand in a paper copy to you. But I'm going to have them do it online because they can use a Google Doc. And all they have to do, they can do a file upload if you want, or they can do a website URL. Either one. Okay? Some students, if they really are pretty low, they might have to do a media recording for you and record themselves talking about the Civil War. That's an option for students with special needs. There's also an option of a text entry where they write their whole essay right in the assignment section. Okay, and right here, this is important again, post grades to SIS. We want that so when you click post grades, and I'll show you that in the assignment book, that it'll go right to your student information system, which is PowerSchool. Sign it to everyone, and then you can also give a date when that assignment is on here. You can say it's due on October 30th, and that it'll be available from this date to this date. So you can actually close an assignment if you want, or you can just leave it open. Okay, I'm going to save and publish this, and I'm going to go in as a student so you can see what this looks like. And you can also add rubrics, and I am going to be in the process of creating some school rubrics so people don't have to start from scratch, but you can create your rubric if you want. And if I click Add Rubric, here you can just set it up right here. And if you click between so this might be your first description. To get full marks, this is what you have to do. If you click between the two, you can add more criteria, okay, or more ratings. So just want you to know that, and then you can put the total points. So that's how you can build a rubric if you want. And then the rubric is right there while you're grading the assignment. That's kind of nice. Okay, so it's published, it's ready to go, and I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to show you as a student what that looks like. Student view. Here they are down here in the assignment. Here's their assignment. They click on it. And then it says write an essay about the Civil War. So they go into Google Docs, they type up their essay on the Civil War. When they're ready to submit it, they go to Submit Assignment. They click it and it says choose a file or add another file, or they can go to website URL and just paste in the website. So that's totally up to you how you want them to do it. And then they submit their assignment and it'll be linked to your gradebook. Okay, now we're going to go into our grades and we're going to take a look at what that student has done. And the assignment was Trial 2. And so we're going to go right in here and go to our speed grader. And right here it says this is the document that the student has shared. So here in this document we can go ahead and we can edit any comments that we want to do, give our grade out of 100%, submit those comments. Remember, you can do a video media comment. If I click on that, you can have your camera active, and if I click on the microphone, it can be the microphone that's active. So camera up here, and it should detect your camera fine. Microphone down here, click anywhere to start recording, and you can give your comments. Hey, you did a really good job on this, I appreciate it. And whenever you're ready to stop recording, and you can give your comments. Hey, and you can save that comment, so it can be an auditory or a video comment. That should work just fine, and then you submit those comments. So text here, or an audio or video comment, and then put their grade in right here. So basically that is looking at assignments in the speed grader and adding assignments. Now I could go back to my gradebook, or I can go back to my course home, U.S. History, and I created my whole course in the modules view. So that is all we are going to do for today. Let me know if there's any time that you would like to sign up for me, and I would be glad to come into your classroom and just sit with you and start building your class, and I can even show your students how to go in and get it all set up and ready to go. So take care.